Well, hi everybody, it's Rebecca Gabrielle from Living with Spice. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It is Sunday evening, the 14th of October. So we're going to do a general weekly card reading. I hope that you get something from this, something that is helpful for you during the week. Anyway, lovely for you to join me, and I would greatly appreciate if you would like this video and even subscribe to it. That's going to help me to build a following for my YouTube channel here, so that would be greatly appreciated. And of course, if you'd like at any time to contact me for a personal reading, you'll be able to get my details from my website livingwithspice.com.au. So we can do that at any time. Personal readings, phone, in person or via Skype. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to reposition here. Okay, so I'm just going to shuffle the deck here using the Wisdom of Avalon Oracle cards, and we'll see what Spirit has for us as guidance for this week coming, week of the 14th of October through to the 21st of October. Spirit, can you give us 4 cards, please, for this week coming? So I have actually pre-shuffled the cards and prayed over the cards for some guidance from our spirits and angels and God. So we thank you in advance for your guidance. So I'm just going to pull some cards since they're not coming. So we're just going to pull 4. Okay, so let's turn these over. The Mystery, the Grail Knight, we had that last week. Burden, and the Eagle. Okay, now let's see what we have. So just tuning into the cards here. It looks like this week we've got a few things where we're going to need to trust in the guidance of Spirit, knowing that we are getting some assistance along the way with changes that are happening in our life at the moment. The path is not always clear, and that's why it's important for us to pray for guidance and trust in our intuition that the universe is also working for us in providing the guidance that we need. That things are going to come to fruition, but we need to take the necessary steps to get where we're going. All right, let's start with a little bit of assistance with our from the guidebook. So looking at the mystery. There is an element of the unknown coming up for us this week. Things are not yet falling into place, but there is work happening behind the scenes. So there's definitely magic in our intention, and it's really important for us to focus on what is potential, what are the possibilities. We're not going to have all of the answers, but this is what the mystery is all about. So there's definitely an element of trust here, because whilst there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes, we're being asked to remember that the divine is working on our behalf, and the answers will come in the right timing. So it's really important for us to trust that, not to push things, but to recognize, don't get impatient, don't lose hope that the wheels are in motion and the right answers are going to come at the right time for us. And when they finally do come, we're going to realize that it was all in good timing. So we're really being asked to trust and have faith that what is good for us is coming our way. That's the mystery. So, of course, it's very important that we just keep doing the do, keep going, and trust that everything is working for our greater good, and just to keep following the path and to trust our intuition that we're on the right path. Okay, so let's move over to the Grail of Night. We had the Grail of Night. We had this last week as well. So it's quite a humble gesture of the night. And again, it is pointing to the sacred, somewhat like the mystery, trusting in the divine. The divine is working for us. The knight here is on bended knee with cup raised, seeking the guidance of spirit in a very humble way. I wonder if an offer is going to be made this week, maybe even later in the week. But there is a sense of mystery around this card as well. We don't yet quite know what that offer is. But there is a sense of trust that everything's going to be okay. The right thing is going to come for us, whatever that offer may be. It could be job, it could be relationship, some sense of communication that we're waiting for. There is that sort of feeling that we're waiting for something. So I guess waiting with patience and temperance is the feeling I get from this card. Waiting humbly and with gratitude, knowing that God and the angels are working for us. Let's just check the book on this one. Very interesting. It does point to romance and the seeking of that which is sacred, such as the missions of the Grail Knight. He represents the coming together of all elements to form perfect life through a union of heaven and earth. Or he can signify a romantic union of lover with lover. In the beginning of all relationships, there's a time when everything is perfect. One seeks out the discovery of love and the treasures of the other, all the while holding up a mirror in which beauty and perfection are reflected. There is both truth and delusion. When the Grail Knight appears, he lets you know that your own beauty, perfection, and innermost desires may be reflected in the mirror that is held up by the love of another. Love is in the air. Perhaps it's also a time for you to fall in love with yourself, to really appreciate who you are, seeing your own value. If you don't see your own value, you run the risk of attracting the same affirmation from the outside world. Remember, love attracts love. Whatever we are reflecting and focusing on in our energy, it's going to be reflected back to us. And that's what we're going to be given. Whatever our expectations are, that's what will come back for us. I guess that's what we mean by truth and delusion. It's important not to be fooled by illusion, by the illusion of perfection. It's really important at this time to see both sides, to see both the light and the dark, the light and the shadows in any situation or in any relationship. It's a really important time to ask for honesty and expect honesty. And in that way you're not disappointed in any way. Truth and delusion. With all matters that are being presented to us this week, This card is really reminding us to not be blinded by what we want, what we think we want. You know, when we're really desiring strongly for something, we can allow ourselves to only see one side of the coin. You know, we have a tendency to want to only see the good or the light or whatever it is that we want to see and not see the other side of things. And it's not that we need to be fearful of the shadow or the flip side, but you know, for us to really get the best out of a situation, let's not be under any illusions. Let's get the whole picture. So if you're inquiring about a job, or there's new people that you're meeting, or relationships, you know, don't be fooled by first impressions. Inquire, be curious, be willing to see the whole picture. And in terms of current relationships or new ones, in the sense of romance, the same applies. The Knight is a messenger. So in the message, we get both the light and the dark, the good and the bad. We get the everything there. We get all elements. We get our humanity, and we get the sacred, which is what is represented by the Grail. In the beginning of anything that's new, we can tend to have rosy glasses and only want to see the best in everything. So Spirit's just reminding us to be wise and do your best to see the whole picture and everything that's presented, not just what we want to see. The next card is called Burden. It's got a picture of trees and a forest. So of course, straight away that tells me that it's sometimes it's difficult to see from trees from the forest. I'm kind of getting the feeling that in this instance, for this week coming, it's more about a mental burden and how our mind can become overwhelmed when we overthink. And, you know, it clutters our thinking. If we're particularly worried about something or overly focused on something this week, maybe relationships or new things that we're encountering this week, there's a lot of overthinking. And, you know, in moments when we have a lot to decide or a lot to process, mentally process, it can be very easy to become quite confused. And, you know, there's a chance that we're going to lose a bit of sleep. So this week, do your best to take care of your health, get the rest that you need. You know, ask for advice perhaps from key people who can give you wise and sound advice on the matters at hand, so that you can get some clarity. It's also really good to step back away from the situation and to remember your goals and your purpose. Come back to what's really driving you and what's really important, and don't get caught up necessarily in what's being presented to you. Some discernment is necessary this week. A lot's going on, and in order to maintain clarity, yes, you're going to need to be organised and prioritise things. Prioritise things in a matter of importance. Don't pay attention necessarily to things that people present to you as being urgent. Come back to what is important for you and what your goals are and what you're trying to achieve this week. Let's see what the book has to say for us. what are we actually carrying around in our thoughts, in our emotions that we don't need to? What are we overthinking about? And where are we placing too much importance? It's important, again, as I was saying, to stop and get clarity by looking at your responsibilities and commitments and really focusing on what's most important. Just check into where are you hanging on to unhealthy relationships, or where are you placing, where are your fears? What things are concerning you? Sorry, I can just hear a beeper going off. Don't take on the burdens of other people. It's going to be, there's a lot going on for people at the moment. It can be very easy to take on board what is concerning other people. So it's important to draw the line here. Release the burden of others to the divine. That is the best thing to do. Other people have their angels and their guides to support them. So it's important for you to just focus on where you need to be this week. The last card here is the eagle. The eagle is pointing us to lifting our focus to the divine and checking in with our higher self. The importance of having integrity, doing what we know is right, completing our responsibilities, watching what we say and do. And again, just making sure we're coming from a place where we know that our soul is guiding us, our higher self is guiding us, and if there is any doubt, to check in with the divine, check in with our spirit guides as to the right course of action. Particularly as we're making decisions this week, at the beginning of the week, it's difficult to sort of know with any sense of clarity where we're going, but we're being asked to trust. We're being asked to see all sides of the situation, the light and the dark, watching our perspective, but know that it is being guided by spirit and that the universe is working to help us. God and the angels are working to help us in all matters, relationships, new jobs, anything that requires some discernment and decision making. And if things are getting a little bit tough and overwhelming, just check back in with your priorities and what's important to you. Don't get caught up with other people's dramas and agendas. Let's just now check in with what the book says for the eagle. We are really being guided and watched over by spirit this week. The eagle represents our connection to the angelic realm. This week it's really important to ask for help, ask for our angels' help and guidance. This will really help us make good decisions and decisions with integrity. Pray, ask and be patient, knowing that they're going to provide the assistance that we need. Pause before making decisions. Our angels are with us all the time, so we don't need to fear. We just need to trust. They will help us to find peace, and they'll help us to make the right decisions. And if there's any state of confusion at all, if we're in that, we're having difficulties with our decision making, just rise above everything. Take it up to a bigger picture level and ask for Spirit's guidance. It's time to pray and to trust this week. Also to remember that we're always divinely protected, so long as we follow the guidance of Spirit. isn't it wonderful that in times that may be a little bit challenging and there's uncertainty along the path, that we are always being reassured that we're being watched over, that we have assistance for getting clarity and for making good decisions, and that we are protected by the divine. So Spirit is working with us through this decision-making period of time in our life. Fabulous. All right, I'm going to now briefly shuffle. I have pre-shuffled these. This is the Archangel Power Tarot deck from Doreen Virtue and Bradley Valentine. So we'll have 4 cards to complement our reading. Thank you, Spirit, for your guidance, angels, for the week ahead. All right, so I'm just going to draw 4 cards here. Knight of Raphael, 5 of Raphael, 9 of Michael, and 7 of Michael. Beautiful. So we've got Archangel Raphael with us this week and Archangel Michael. So Archangel Raphael is helps us in our relationships and with our personal healing. Archangel Michael gives us guidance and protection. So looking at the Knight of Raphael, we're very much talking about romantic relationships here. It's got a really dramatic feel to this card. This Knight has got purpose and he's coming in with a message. It says here romantic, dramatic, poetic, introspective. The water is suggesting that there's a little bit of turbulence around emotions. There's clear intent here with the direction of the horse and the knight. Guidance, Spirit's with us. It's seen in the picture of the birds here. So on the bottom here it says, committed romantic relationships being swept off your feet. Situations or topics that make your heart flutter. Somebody's coming in with a message this week. Let's take a look at what the book says. Knight of Raphael. Where are you? Okay. So we have, be prepared to be swept off your feet. Someone has the ability to bring deep emotions to the surface. This card often represents falling in love. It can also herald creative or artistic proposals and career opportunities. There we go. As well as situations or topics that make your heart flutter happily. There's a real sense of connecting with something that's exciting. So whether it be relationships, interaction with someone in your life, or other people to do with people that you're meeting or career opportunities, there's a sense of excitement and tapping into what you love, inspiration, creativity. There's definitely movement happening here, something to get excited about. Yeah. Even just feeling in love with life itself. That feeling of being inspired and uplifted. Whenever we feel inspired and uplifted, there's definitely a sense of movement happening in our life and, that sort of rush of adrenaline. It's feeling quite optimistic. There's hope, possibilities. So it's really important to keep ourselves open and alert, but also not being blinded by illusion, making sure that we don't get too swept off our feet, that we don't see all aspects of a situation. But there is a sense of enjoyment, going with it. This is great times. Good things are coming our way. For some people, it's a deepening of romantic relationships. Feeling of powerful emotions happening in our lives this week. So whatever it is feeling intense, but in a positive and optimistic way. So keep an eye out for that this week. That is certainly happening. 5 of Raphael. With this movement that's happening, it also brings about change. 5 represents change. Whatever that change is, it's moving on from something. Moving on from relationship, situation, job, things from the past, just a wrapping up of things. Archangel Raphael is reminding us, don't see this as a negative situation. This is actually a positive. There's seasons for everything. You know, when one season finishes, you've got to have the season finished to move on to the next one. And this is actually a positive card. Sometimes we can get a little bit fearful of change in our life, but we're being asked to see this as a positive. Changes happen for a good reason. And there's a breath of fresh air coming in. Something new and exciting is coming in. So with this change, it's time to let go of any regret, see the positives of what was, and now embrace new opportunities for growth and happiness. It's really important to see the silver lining and the positives in this situation. Let's see what the book has to say. Yes. Avoid being focused on a loss. There is something more positive waiting for you, and that's the point of the card. Things may not turn out exactly as you expect. That's okay. Now's the time to trust. Trust in the universe has something better in store for you. Regret doesn't serve any purpose right now. Embrace the changes and trust that the angels are sending you in a new direction for your long-term happiness. Oh, beg your pardon. Sorry. So, no pouting. See this as a positive and trust. Next we have the 9. We have 9 of Michael. This card represents all of those times where we're sitting up, losing sleep over things. We're getting into our head and overly worrying about things. Archangel Michael is reminding us, don't waste your energy and time and sleep in worrying about things unnecessarily, particularly those things that you don't have any control over. It's far better for you to focus your thoughts on what you do want to manifest, on the outcome that you do want. Forget about regret, guilt, worry, things of the past. Don't waste time and energy on that. Focus on where you're going and the positives. So let's see what we can get from the guidance here. Unnecessary worry, imagining the worst scenarios, playing it over and over in our head, total waste of time. Don't torture yourself. Let it go and spend more time in positive thinking. If need be, maybe go share your worries and concerns with a friend, but don't let it bottle up inside of you so that you end up thinking all sorts of weird and wonderful things or awful things. Okay, and ask the angels to help you to get a restful night's sleep. You know, we tend to do our worst thinking just before dawn. Archangel Michael is saying, don't do that to yourself. Unnecessary. And finally, we have 7 of Michael. We have a choice. We have a choice. We can take the path that looks a little shadowy and dark and unsure, or there's the path that's well lit, representing, you know, light at the end of the tunnel, a better choice. Archangel Michael is there to guide us. Don't go this way. He's pointing in the direction of this way. We need to really tune in to our intuition and ask Archangel Michael to help us and to guide us the right way. So, at the same time, we have a reminder here to look to Spirit to guide us to making those good choices. Trust our intuition. Trust what our higher self is saying to make the better choice. And Archangel Michael here doing the same, providing us the guidance for the right course of action. We don't need to make decisions on our own. If we're really getting ourselves worked up into a frenzy and being worried and overthinking everything, Archangel Michael and Spirit is reminding us that help is at hand. We just need to ask. Review all the details in order to make a good decision. So we'll just check one more time in the book. 7 of Michael. Thank you. We have a choice. There is a better course of action available. All we need to do is ask. Be reminded, what are we trying to accomplish? Just coming back to what is our goal? What is the ultimate outcome? What do we really want to have? Not to get sort of ourselves caught up with the agendas of other people or swept along by what other people are telling us. Come back to remembering what your purpose is and where you really want to go. Yeah, just be mindful of what other people's motives are when they're strongly suggesting something. Sometimes we need to just check in with what is okay for us. So that's just a reminder. Have confidence in yourself and ask the angels for courage and clarity. If we're feeling doubtful or lacking in a little bit of self-esteem or confidence, that's the time that we need to ask for God's assistance and the assistance of the angels, because sometimes we just need that extra help when things aren't clear. We need that extra guidance. It can be confusing sometimes, particularly when other people have their own motives. It's really important to come back to what is right for you. Okay. Obviously, there's a lot of decisions being made this week. And, Spirit is really reminding us to see the positives. Don't get disillusioned. To trust that things are going in the right direction. Take time to look at all the alternatives, the positives, recheck what's important to you. Don't let your mind get in the way. Ask for help when you're needing clarity. Get out of fear and focus on what you truly want, and check in with your intuition, your higher self. Pray to the angels, pray to God for assistance. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right, I'm going to now add one card from the Gaia Oracle deck to just give us another message of wisdom that can help us on our way for this week. So these have been pre-shuffled. I'll just give them a quick clear shuffle now. Okay. Sacred journey. Sacred journey. 22. There's a real feeling of sacred journey here in the mystery, trusting in Spirit, connecting with sacred. And then this comes up, sacred journey. Where we start in life, the beginning of life, roots in the ground, growing in love, growing towards Spirit and enlightenment. We're all on a sacred journey. It's our soul journey. Every part of our life is connected to the next part and leads to the next. And I love the way they've used trees as a way of expressing our connectedness with earth, and spirit, the divine. That throughout life, it is about all of those elements. A very human side, our physicality, and our constant connection with spirit. So let's just see what the book has to say around that. So, life is a physical journey through time and space, yet it is also a spiritual journey that transcends both time and space. Physically, we are born of the earth, and to the earth we shall return. Yet spiritually, we are never born and we never die. We never come and we never leave. This card reminds you that we are each so much more than our physical realities. From our soul's perspective, this current life is just one page in a never-ending book, which is the eternal story of life. We are all characters in a play. We have each chosen different roles. Your family is a central part of this journey. Each member plays their respective roles, each member your co-star and partner. Each play is designed for maximum dramatic effect, otherwise it would all get very boring. In fact, we're all actors and we're each required to play our roles as well. It is through our human drama we expand our understanding of love. The different roles we play and the people we encounter help us to grow. Through the drama, we come to understand just how sacred life is. Thank your soul for the journey. Everybody that comes in and out of our life, and I guess this is something that's really lovely to be reminded of now as there's a lot of change and movement happening in your life right now, that all of the people that have come into our life and given us beautiful lessons, things to be aware of, blessings, that's something for us to be very grateful for and thankful for. But as the seasons change, people come and go, and then we meet new people in our life to bring us new awarenesses and lessons. And so this is just a lovely reminder that, our lives are both about our human experience and our soul connections and our spiritual experience. And then I'm just going to pull a card from the Romance deck, Romance Angels deck from Doreen Virtue, and then we'll be finished for our weekly reading from the 14th to the 21st of October. So let's see, what can we know about relationships this week, please? Some general guidance around relationships this week. Okay. Keep an open mind. It says here your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. If we're currently looking for a relationship, or we've been exploring a soulmate relationship, we're being asked to keep an open mind. Especially if we're about to meet someone, which could be this person here. It's important not to have preconceived ideas. Go with the flow. Keep an open mind, because when spirit's involved, what comes along is usually for our greater good. May not necessarily match what our preconceived ideas are. So that's great. Keeping things open. It kind of adds to the mystery a little bit, doesn't it? Being asked to trust. We're really not, we're not getting all the answers coming at once this week. We really are being encouraged to trust not to worry, ask for help when we need that help from Spirit and Archangel Michael. Really is a week of testing our patience, our level of trust, going with the flow, tuning into our intuition, not worrying. Stay clear and open. Keep an open mind. Be grateful for people that come and go in our life. With every season, there's something beautiful that's coming our way. It very much is about no regrets, being grateful for what was, and know that something positive and even better is coming. So it is actually a very positive reading, everybody. Looking at the brighter side of things. Seeing all sides of things, keeping an open mind, and know that Spirit is working there to help us. So I hope you've enjoyed the reading for this week. May have a wonderful, blessed week, and with lots of love. We'll see you soon. Bye.